How's it going, everybody? We have I think a fun little video today.
Yeah, this was user requested, actually.
Yeah, so Andy and I, we've done like tons of gear videos, and everybody knows that for the most part, a lot of our gear is pretty similar.
If not the exact same.
If not the exact same, but there is a lot of stuff that we differ on.
Yeah.
As I was thinking about this, there's actually a lot of stuff that we just have different preferences, so that leads us to getting different items. So today we're going to talk about how our two backpacking setups are different. And we'll talk about, why we choose different things, and kind of our preferences for stuff, and hopefully help you all kind of, if you're deciding between various items, maybe shed some input on that. But we're going to talk about how we differ in certain parts of our backpacking gear.
Should be exciting.
Yeah. So let's start at the very bottom with shoe wear. That's something we generally have rarely used the same of.
No, an interesting thing. So I've got the most popular pair of trail runners out there, the Altra Lone Peak 3.5s that I've been using now for a little bit, which are fantastic. And what are you using?
I'm using the Peregrine 7s. I use them for trail running, and I like a very firm, flat sole, and those are like walking on a cloud, which is really comfortable. But I like certain shoes differently, and I like a flatter, firmer sole, and that the Peregrine 7 it's more of a running shoe. That's more of a hiking shoe.
Yeah.
But those are really comfortable.
I've used the Peregrine 8s and I hated them.
Yeah, they're very firm. I mean, they're very hard.
Yeah.
Which is great for like energy efficiency and hiking, but when you get to camp, you want to take them off immediately. Versus those are really comfortable.
Yep, like walking on clouds.
Yeah.
These are the best trail runners I've used so far.
So that's kind of why we have different shoe wear. Other kind of things we differ on in terms of clothing, we have different rain jackets. Minimal difference. We have different puffy jackets. A big difference between our puffy jackets is mine has a hood and pockets, which I think is a requirement, but it's heavier, and you've got a Montbell.
Yeah, just minimalist, no pockets, no hood. I think when it comes to like the reason my rain jacket and my puffy are the same is just because I'm too lazy to replace it.
Yeah, to buy new ones.
It works fine. Would it be nicer to have a hood and pockets on my puffy? Of course. Would it be nicer to have like a brand new, cool, high-speed, low-drag rain jacket? Of course.
It would.
But my stuff's pretty light. Works for now, so I'm keeping it.
So, other clothing differences, other than that, I don't think there are really any.
No.
Now, another big difference between our setups is we use two totally different stove setups. So I use a Fancee Feast alcohol style stove, and Andy uses a Caldera Cone alcohol style stove. Now we both use alcohol stoves, but they're very different. Now my stove burns a little bit hotter and a little bit faster. Andy's stove burns slower but is way more efficient.
Yep.
So that's the difference between there. It's really nice though when we backpack together because we take both of them. So like on an Isle Royal last year, we just use his stove all the time because you can carry less fuel and it's super efficient. Now our canister stoves are different. I have an MSR Pocket Rocket.
I just have an old Snow Peak. I think it's a Snow Peak titanium one.
Yeah.
I've had it for years. I hardly ever use it.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter and smaller than the Pocket Rocket, but the Pocket Rocket I think it's faster. It's certainly more like robust. You can flame control it. But yeah, our stoves are really different. But they kind of complement each other well. So if you're someone who is looking to be just purely efficient and save weight on fuel, go with something like that. Versus something that burns a little hotter, a little faster, and probably a little easier to deal with is something like a cat can style stove. But that is a big difference in our kits. Is we use totally different stove systems.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference though is the pot choice in the windscreen. Like you said, I think yours is easier to deal with logistically.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But mine's way more efficient, so.
So you can decide what you like. Another big difference between our setups is our trekking poles. I have $40 Cascade Mountain Tech carbon fiber trekking poles that I've had for 2 years now. It's pretty amazing they've held up for 2 years.
Yeah, those are good trekking poles for the price.
And what do you have?
I have the creme de la creme.
They are sweet. They are sweet.
I have the Gossamer gear. Carbon fiber LT4 is about $200 a pair.
Yeah.
I've had them for a very, very long time. When I say a very long time, I think in backpacking years, probably like 7 or 8 years.
That's a long time in backpacking years.
Especially in gear years. So I've had them for like 7 or 8 years if I can remember. I bought them used. My only complaint on them right now, and this is where you pay for that weight, is that they only collapse.
Yeah, I know.
It's about this big. They do have new ones out that have a dual locking system that collapse much farther. So, yeah, they're awesome. If they were to tomorrow to break, I would just buy a new pair.
There you go. Another kind of minor gear difference that might not be a difference later is Andy switched to using a Nylaflume pack liner versus I'm still using dry bags. There's just tiny little differences. The pack liner is probably easier and probably lighter and definitely cheaper. So I might switch over to that, but I'm still going full David Gray with like a bunch of dry bags in there. Yeah. Just another like minor little difference between our gear.
Yeah. We have different underquilts too.
Yeah, that's a big difference. We've got different underquilts.
I always generally use my Enlightened Equipment underquilt, and you've got a hammock gear one. I also have a hammock gear econ one, but I only use it in really cold weather. So
the Enlightened Equipment underquilt is lighter than the hammock gear one for sure. But we have a video on overviewing our underquilts. Check that out if you want to know more differences between those two. There are pros and cons, but our underquilts are different. Our top quilts are different too. They're the same top quilt, but we have different temperature ratings. I have a 30 degree, he has a 20 degree, just minor differences. Talking about camping setup, I generally always use a sidecar on my hammock. He does not.
Peak loft's good for me.
Yeah, I use a peak loft and a sidecar. Obviously our hammocks are different colors, but who cares about that? Our electronics loadouts are very different. He has an iPhone, I have an Android. I'm generally carrying more battery storage, but we both still carry battery storage. I also have a solar panel that sometimes gets brought out. So our electronics loadouts are definitely different. The GPS systems we use are different, but it's nice because they kind of complement each other. You gotta diversify when you're out there, so if one doesn't work, the other one probably works, something like that.
Yeah.
So a bunch of little minor electronics differences.
Yeah.
Lastly, we will talk about food differences. Now, we just literally released a video talking about our favorite backpacking foods, and we talk each about our favorite backpacking foods, and they're not all the same. In fact, none of them are the same.
Yeah.
So if you want to know differences in our favorite foods, check out that video. But generally speaking, we like different coffee, we like different alcoholic beverages, and some other minor things. So our food is different, generally speaking.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, granted, we just ran through a bunch of stuff, but we do have a lot of, talking about it like this, you see we have a lot of different stuff.
I think when it comes down to like the nitpicky stuff, we differ, but like all like the big items we've been really satisfied with, like the packs, the hammocks, the tarps.
Our packs are configured differently. I was thinking about that.
That's true.
In terms of the pouches and the water bottle holders and stuff like that, our calls are configured differently.
Yep.
But yeah, like Andy was saying, from a high level, the packs are the same, the hammocks are the same, the tarps are the same.
And oddly enough, is I switched up my tarp suspension to match yours because.
Oh yeah, I got rid of that CRL, continuous ridgeline, because it's a pain.
Yeah, I got rid of the continuous ridgeline, and it serves a great purpose, and it definitely offers a convenience factor for being able to slide the tarp along it. But the ease of setup, I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
So.
And we're in the minority there. Most people use a continuous ridgeline. If you don't know what we're talking about, Google it. There's tons of videos, but our tarp suspensions are the same. So there you go. In summary, the big stuff is all the same, but when you get down to a lower level of granularity, things are really different. Clothes are different, stoves are different, electronics are different, trekking poles are different, a bunch of other stuff. So hopefully that sheds some light into our setups, and if you're someone who's considering, you know, items that we carry differently, maybe you take some of this input into your decision. I don't know.
Yeah, and then plus on, you know, we can also do some, depending on the trip, like, you know, you bring the water filter, I'll bring the stove.
Yeah, we've done that before.
So we can save some weight.
That's just smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done that. But that's totally trip dependent. Like I said, at Isle Royale, Andy brought the stove. So we'll kind of separate labor differently that way. But that is it. That is how our gear is different. Hopefully you guys find it interesting. It was kind of cool to talk about. We might do some more videos kind of comparing and contrasting our different styles of backpacking, but for now that's it.
Yep.
So thanks for watching. You know, let us know your thoughts on all this, and we will catch everyone on the next one.